Good evening. I started my company in 2016. It was a very tough start, let it be honest, because at that period of time, you know, although I was an ex corporate treasurer, I could have raised money from any venture capitalist, but I was very clear and adamant that I am not going to be raising even a dollar from a private equity firm. Because I was very clear on one thing that, you know, if you take any private equity or a venture capitalist on your company, then they simply misled it, they simply dilute it. I was, and I am rather, very clear on this part. Eventually, Treasury Consulting grew. We started our fund in 2018, and God is kind. Eventually, slowly, we are now a long short hedge fund. Long short hedge fund is a very unique distinction which we got, rather, we earned. You know that media don't cover us, but to me, it hardly matters. Hardly matters because we ourselves is media. You name the social platform, we are on that social platform, whether this is LinkedIn, whether this is YouTube, whether this is Twitter, whether this is WhatsApp, whether this is, I would say the Snapchat, whether this is shared chat or so many platforms, Takatak and all, and XYZ. Now, the long short distinction which we earned is helping us to create double side trade, which means at a given point we are a long and at the same time we are short, which technically is known as buy sell swap. But I would like to warn everyone. I repeat, I would like to warn everyone who is watching this video, do not copy this because you do not know that buy sell swap execution is known to very less people in the world. Even the best hedge funds of the globe, they many times do it mistakenly. And history is witness. By long short, now we are long in a specific asset class, and at the same time we are short in a specific asset class. Sometimes we use spread and sometimes we use ratio back spread, which is very difficult. But one thing which makes me proud, and thanks to someone in the sky because of his and her beautiful blessings, we are here. Now we would be replicating the long short strategies in equities. We would be replicating this in commodities and probably in other asset classes. But like I said, and I repeat many times, we are a prop fund, which means we not going to be taking any capital from the investor. So you may be a venture capitalist, you may be a private equity, whosoever are you, you are not allowed to invest in our fund. But this long short feature would help us to cover the market on either side, which means if market is going up, we are covered. If the market is going down, we are covered. I again repeat, technically speaking, execution of buy sell swap and execution of reverse buy sell swap is beyond the cup of tea of most of the people. So please do not try this in your portfolio, else you would be responsible. I personally feel that in the next 2 years, considering various factors like the Russia-Ukraine war, which is still going on, the depreciation of the Asian currencies, the US debt, which is not less than 32 trillion and growing, the debt default of Asian nations like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and rest, it would make market very, very volatile, rather beyond expectation. Let it be honest. And the long short concept would not only help us to gain the profits, but it would help us to stay with the market. But having said that, the next level of long short is always 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, and sometimes it go 10x. I'm not quoting any name, but I know many hedge funds, those who are also long short, without quoting any specific name, and they are 1x and they go to 10x, which means in long they create 10x, in short they create 1x. Don't try this at home, guys. If you do not know, this is a very complicated strategies. Again, warning you. And guys, few weeks ago when nickel touched all-time high and LME, London Metal Exchange, almost stopped the trading of nickel, and then nickel went back and now nickel falling. More than two big funds collapsed. And the beauty, this is not covered on social media. But you know that I track these things. I, keep a very close eye on these things. And more than two big funds collapsed and it is not covered on social media. And I was like, guys, they are hedge funds who have Reuters, Bloomberg, research staff, offices. What tam jam they don't have, And still they collapsed. Still they collapsed. But we know that long short is a double-edged sword. And we play it very carefully. But thank you to the God that we are now a long short hedge fund. But we would continue to be proprietary and we will never share our research in